But he also said something to me. He said, last time that I was in 2016, he said, we got elected, and he said, we didn't really expect that was going to happen. And,
right. Obviously.
And I was not prepared for it.
Yeah.
And he said, we launched the transition committee in January. And I was immediately surrounded by, business people and lobbyists and saying, you pick this guy, pick that guy, pick that guy. And he said, and I did it. I did what they said. He said, I later came to regret it. And a lot of those people were bad people. Like, how he talks about that. He said they were bad people.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't want to do that this time. I want to do something completely different. And he said, we're going to launch a transition committee starting this week. So normally the transition committee is paid for by the GAO, by the General Accounting Office. And you don't launch till after the election. But with him, he got private donors to pay for the transition committee, and he's starting it 4 or 5 months early, so that they can actually put a government in place. And then another thing he said is, one of the big complaints against President Trump has been that he's sort of a captive of the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. And he said to me, Project 2025, they keep trying to stick that to me. And I've never read it. I never heard it. I heard of it until people started telling me that I was behind it. And he said, that was written by a right-wing asshole. This is what he said to me. And he said, there are left-wing assholes and there are right-wing assholes. And that was written by a right-wing asshole. And so in that way, he kind of, disavowed this kind of ideological pigeonhole that they're trying to put him in. And I think his administration is going to be really interesting because, like you said, he's surrounded by people who are entrepreneurial, who really are common sense people who want to do the right thing for our country. And, I also came to understand President Trump in a different light. And it's easy for me to understand because I've been vilified and demonized by the press and the view of me, across the kind of the liberal landscapes is that, I'm this really insane, crazy person. And but a lot of people, I take that as gospel, as reality. And, I think a lot of the things that have been said about President Trump are the same thing. They're things that are propaganda tropes. They're very simplistic characterizations of him that miss some of the richness of his character and of his personality.